All right, welcome back to Chat UFC early bird bets for UFC 315. Interesting card, not looking like the greatest pay-per-view event. And same thing with the odds, not seeing a ton of value on a ton of fights, but we're getting there. And this could be a tighter card, maybe 4 or 5 bets. But depending on where the lines go, we're going to go pretty heavy on some. I haven't been putting out as much videos recently, but just dealing with some stuff in life. Gotta handle life first, and then we jump into the betting. But I've still obviously been breaking down the fights and putting in our bets. We profited 2.2 units last week, really just thanks to DeRitter. Some of our bets, again, we're still tweaking. I would say what was it, Dontel Mays and Marino Rodriguez. I need to filter out these fighters that are just done, at the age they're at. And I should have seen that coming with both of them, especially Dontel Mays. Line was just getting steamed on Thomas Peterson. And so I'm just figuring that was Mays is checked out. He's done. And there's other fighters like that. But then there's fighters like Jared Cannonier, who at plus 220 provide a ton of value against like a RoboCop or whatever. Guys that still have that dog in them, still have that fight in them. And I believe we have that on this card too. So without further ado, let's jump into it. This video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video constitutes financial advice. Betting involves risk, and you should only wager what you can afford to lose. Please consult a licensed financial professional before making any decisions. All right, first, we're going to run through the first fights of the night, and I'll just kind of run through the ones I'm not betting, and then we'll dive into the ones I am. Bruno Silva versus Marc-Andre Barriault. No value on it, even at the Barriault minus 145. Only giving him really it's a small 56% chance of winning. Now, Bruno Silva is a guy I will never bet on because he has looked terrible in his last fight. So if I would go any direction, I would take Barriault, especially if my metrics show it. I'd take him now, but I'm not going to bet him at minus 145. Both guys have shown vulnerabilities. Okay, this is a tricky one. Daniel Santos, Zhang Yang Li. Santos coming in on short notice, but I think that's being over evaluated here. He's withdrawn from a lot of fights, so he's jumping in here. He must be healthy. Short notice. I checked on his Instagram, been training the whole time, and so it's not showing any units wagered here, but we'll jump into that right now. We have a parlay sitting here. Parlay on Silva and Bilal Muhammad. I was going to have a Joel Alvarez, Bilal Muhammad 2-team parlay, and Alvarez withdrew. I loved Alvarez at the minus 175, but that line was steaming up. I think we're getting a steal here on Daniel Santos. He has done very well against high-level competition in the UFC so far, and Zhang Yang Li is coming off a knockout. He beat some lower-level competition. I just think that Santos is going to be a step above here. My metrics show it, at least on the Glico, no WHR, because he hasn't fought since 2023. But we're going to take a stab here. 2 units, win 2.99 parlay with Silva and Bilal Muhammad. And I would love to get more on Muhammad, as you're going to see as we continually look at these fights, because I have a lot of value on Muhammad. It's a big step up for Jack Maddalena. And so we're giving Bilal Muhammad a 77% chance, Maddalena 23%. I do think money could come back and forth. I think sharp money will be Bilal. Public doesn't like Bilal, though, so we could see us come down further, and I will get more on that. I just wanted to jump on it now in case the sharp money does overtake the public. Speaking of public and sharp money, who tailed me on with DeRitter? I mean, that was a no-brainer, and I told you guys, well, we only had 1 unit going into the fight, but it's because we all knew the parlays were all going to be on Bo Nickel, and he kind of got exposed in his last fight, and of course, no one cares about that. They just care about the name. I saw one guy on TikTok saying, bet your parents' house on this parlay. Okay, well, hopefully no one took his advice, and you will never hear me say something like that ever. That is insane, and it pretty much, in my eyes, discredits you the moment I hear it. So, anywho, don't bet your house. Bet units based on probability. So, Daniel Santos, Bilal Muhammad, 2-team parlay. We like it. Next bet here. I love this bet. It's just one of those where I think the line keeps getting better and better. I almost pulled the trigger at plus 180. I'm giving Ivan Erslan a 55% chance through the metrics against Navajo Sterling. And let's just dive into, okay, Navajo Sterling in his last fight against a very low-level light heavyweight, went 3 rounds with him. He won it convincingly, but who has Navajo Sterling fought to justify a minus 310? Absolutely no one. Bo Nickel fought more people. Of course, Ivan Urslan is not Reiner de Ritter, but he has a lot of experience in other promotions, good power, and it's one of those 55-45, I think is an accurate prediction. Navajo Sterling may have a lot of hype and a lot of upside, but the numbers show what the numbers show, and that is being factored in. If this was just off of their advanced metrics, this would be an even higher percentage. So we're at least factoring that in, and at plus 260, there is just so much value, 27.2 percentage points of value. So we have a unit on it now, but the only reason there isn't more, it's a 7-inch reach disadvantage for Ivan. So we are going to wait because I think just like everyone did with Bo Nickel, everyone will put Navajo Sterling in their parlay, and maybe they'll win this time, but they won't win in the long term, especially if you put your mother's house on a parlay. Just don't do that ever, and you'll be fine. So there you go. Let's jump into, okay, so that has my most value there. I'm eventually going to have about 6 units of profit, so that's going to take about 2.5, but maybe it won't because if we get a plus 350, then we'll grab that. We will have some money on Jessica on draws, just not yet. Same thing, reach disadvantage against Jasmine Justadavicius. And I got a bad feeling because it's 37%, so we're not going to win that every time. We're not even going to win that 50% of the time, but the value is there at plus 250. So we may have a small play on it, but I wouldn't bet my mother's house on it. Okay, next one here. We covered the parlay. We covered Ivan Urslan. Love this bet here. Alexa Grasso, plus 185. I'm giving her a 43% chance against Natalia Silva, and that's 7.9 percentage points of value. Veteran versus the newcomer. I'm seeing a lot of that in the newcomers getting all the love on this card. Alexa Grasso is not done, though, with her career. She's always been competitive, including the 5-round fight against Valentina Shevchenko, who is the champion. So if I'm getting a plus 185 on someone who was just the champion and still, she's not Marina Rodriguez, so I'm not worried about that. I think she has that experience where she can get this done against Silva, who has yet to lose in the UFC and is making that step up in competition big time in this fight. So Alexis Grasso, we should be getting up to 2.5, so that'll be about 2 units probably when it's all said and done on Grasso, but for right now we're 1 to win 1.85. Then we get to Valentina Shevchenko. I have this fight 50-50, so I didn't bet it when it was at even money. The line jumped up to a plus 145, and I jumped all over that. 2 units on the champ to win 2.88. Not sure. It's got to be the reach advantage for Rowe, but I just don't. I think Erin Blanchfield was not ready for that level of competition against Farrow. Erin Blanchfield was a favorite in the fight because of her wrestling, but she just doesn't have the striking. And Farrow stuffed the takedowns and was able to dominate that fight. This is a much different matchup. This is the best women's fighter, arguably, of all time, and she is the current champion. So it's not like she's an old women's fighter. She's about the same age as Farrow, and she's just got that dog in her. We all know it. And so I do believe that your money is well put on Valentina Shevchenko. It's still a 50-50 fight, but the odds are the great equalizer. So bet there. And then if you want to just bet Bilal Muhammad at minus 220 straight up, you can put him in a parlay. And that's where I'd recommend parlays. 8.3 percentage points of value. Should be 77% favored. He's 68.8 right now. So plenty of value on Bilal Muhammad. But I do think people are going to pick Madalena. And if I was to guess, I'd say it closes around the minus 220. But I think we could see a dip if public and sharp money gets on Madalena. It's a tempting line. If I didn't run the numbers, I would have just taken Madalena because that's what it looks like. But if we look at the WHR Clico 1 advanced numbers, I mean, we're dealing with hundreds of points. and Madalena has, in his recent fights, has won, but Gilbert Burns, he got the finish, but he had some split decision wins before that, some very close fights, Kevin Holland, etc. I mean, it just looks like a massive step up. So give me Bilal Muhammad here. All right, so to recap our UFC 315 early bird bets, I have the parlay with Daniel Silva and Bilal Muhammad, 2 units to win 2.99. We'll see if I add another unit on that, depending on where the Silva line goes, depending on where the Bilal line goes. I just wanted to grab it before any of them got too high. Next bet, Valentina Shevchenko, 2 units to win 2.88. We will have another unit on this. We'll see where that line goes, but I wanted to jump on that plus 144 because I don't think it stays very long. She will be the public side for sure. Ivan Erslan, he will not be the public side, so we are waiting. He shows our most value, 1 unit to win 2.6 at a plus 260. I think we could even get better than that, but I have to scoop it up because it's showing so much value, 27 percentage points. Alexa Grasso showing 7.9 percentage points of value. We have a unit to win 1.85. We will have another unit on her. We'll see. I think Silva could be tempting, but I do think the public will come on Grasso with that big number. So we'll jump on it before then, but just not right now. And those are the 4 bets. So not a tremendous amount of bets yet. Some of our honorable mentions is going to be, where is she? Jessica Andrade. We'll probably get a unit from us, but I just think the line keeps going up, and I only give her a 37% chance. So I need about 10 percentage points of value to place a bet on her. Charles Radke, same thing, 37% chance. If I can get a plus 250, I'll probably snag it on him. And then that's about it. It's gonna be a tight card on this one. If we add anything, it'll be Radke and Andrade. But you know what? I think if we can keep this card tight, a couple of favorites, couple of dogs, dogs that aren't on their last breath, like Dontel Mays and Marina Rodriguez. If we avoid those, I think we'll be okay. And so that's what we got so far. I will see you guys later in the week. We didn't do the Friday face-off recap, but we will do that this week. I still can't do the live stream for now, but we'll get back to that. I will try to have all these bets in before then, and I will live tweet them as we go during the fights. So there you go, guys. See you Friday.